What's up, nerds? This is NGR Radio, Nerds Gone Rogue Radio, episode number 69. It's just Corey and I today because we decided that a 69 is a two-person job.
69 is a two-man job.
And if you have more, someone's just stuck on their own eating an asshole. So it's just Corey and I. So I'm going to do my obligatory. And since I'm hosting, I could talk about actually what I'm drinking. I'm drinking something called Grenade Spam by Ghost Pixel Brewing. This was sent to me by a co-host on the Brew Review, John Kermanic from Texas. I don't know. I always forget where this brewery is from, but this is a double dry hopped pale ale. It's not an IPA. And that is what I'm drinking. Corey, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm cheering on my 0-10 Browns to that first round pick in the NFL draft next year, and with a water. with a water.
So apparently the Eagles won again, which is it's looking dangerously optimistic for Philly fans. I remember 13 years ago when they were here, and I remember how it ended. I believe they met the Patriots in the Super Bowl and lost. So, yeah. I hate the Eagles, hate the Patriots. So,
yeah. Well, everybody hates the Patriots. But
I think at some point you kind of have to.
Like we said, everybody loves an asshole, and there's an asshole for everybody.
This is true.
And that asshole is the Patriots.
Yes.
Sure.
The Patriots be the asshole that kind of runs football. They're like the Donald Trump of football. The asshole that's just sort of running it.
It's like if they made a TV movie but only cast like attractive people to be in it. Tom Brady would be playing Tom.
Attractive white people.
Tom Brady would be playing Donald Trump.
Yeah.
He's the leader. Get it?
Yep, I do.
Because he's the quarterback.
Yes.
Anyways, to wrap...
This is all making sense.
Yeah. But to wrap this sports talk all the way back around to video games, the Cleveland Cavaliers owner, Dan Gilbert, just bought an esports team.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who'd he buy? Anybody good?
He bought a League of Legends team called 100 Thieves. I don't know what that means or who they are. This is what I know about League of Legends.
There's a team called 100 Thieves.
Protect your lane. Get the minions.
I'm not sure that's even right.
I don't think so either. I know that MOBAs have heroes and lanes.
Yeah, heroes, lanes, they level up.
Gold.
Over the course of a match with gold. They buy stuff. There are alts. Don't forget the alts.
Alts. Hats.
Yeah, they're hats.
Cosmetics.
Hats. Yes. And most and I believe most of them are free to play.
Yeah. Yes.
I think there's probably one out there that you have to pay to buy. I think Smite. You probably have to
pay to buy.
Pay to buy. Yeah. I've had a long weekend. it has been a weekend.
Yeah, I hear you, dude. It's been one of those weekends where I'm just like, yeah. But
hey, I'm now 38. That happened. I went to my first ever convention. Of any kind. I went to PAX Unplugged, and it was a really cool experience. If you don't know a lot about it, it's a lot to take in. Like it's kind of just oppressive. I'm glad we only did 2 of the 3 days. And I met up with my Guild Ball people. That was fun. I watched the tournament. Thank you for those who wished me good luck when I posted a picture. I was not playing, so that was the best luck I could ever have.
Did you win?
No, no, but I did watch a guy who was playing his first ever game, and he had a baby Bjorn on.
Oh, wow.
And his son was just drooling all over the mat, like the game mat that we had out. And that was just hilarious because he's sitting here trying to manage his team and catch his son's drool. And his son had like earmuffs, well, like headphones, but they were just like to block out just the wall of noise that's constantly around you. And he was actually an adorable little guy. And then but I watched that game, and that guy put up a fight for being his first game. I think I'm not 100% certain he lost. He might have won. He might have won that game, but not like the tournament. I think someone who had experience won the tournament. I played a bunch of board games there, which was cool. I played a couple of really bad ones, but I played a really cool one called Onitama, which is like easy variable chess. And I actually liked it enough to buy it. So yeah, that was kind of an enlightening thing. I'd never seen anything like that before. And I played this game by Harmonix, a board game by Harmonix. Was it that music card? Yeah, I played that. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. But it is way too much noise. Like the concept of it is really nice because it's just pattern recognition on your card, not like a rhythm. Right. So you just have to it's all card plays, but the cacophony that ends up coming out of the speaker is too much. I think that's a cool idea, and I think some tweaks need to happen in order for it to be accessible, or at least listenable. But the fact that Harmonix is trying to do their thing in a new space and actually came up with a concept that works, cool, good for them. And then I met a guy from the Platinum Achievements community, and he's also in Fathers of the Grind. His name is Brian Pelfrey. He streams. He does his professionally unprofessional gaming, and that man is a goddamn treat to be around. He and his wife are like super into tabletop stuff, and I let them know that we were like relatively new, and they're like, "Well, here, have you heard of this?" No. And literally, they ran through a bunch of games with us, and a lot of them sounded interesting, but unfortunately, like that was sort of at the end of our time at PAX. So my girlfriend and I were just kind of done. We're like we need to get out. We need to be away. We need quiet because PAX is a wall of noise. Did you play any video games?
Did I? I played a few, but before I get into that, I had a very interesting experience with PlayStation Customer Service.
Oh, this ought to be good.
Oh, yeah. I talked about it a little bit on Arsenal X the other day, but actually, I guess it was like last week's episode. But anyways, so I was setting up to do Arsenal X, right? And I was just checking my emails and stuff. At 10 p.m., I get an email notification from PlayStation that said, "Thank you for your purchase." I'm like, I'm at my desk. I'm not close to my PlayStation. My PlayStation isn't even hooked up right now. What's happening here? So I go in. It says funds added to your wallet, $64.04. I'm like, it's the price of a full price game with tax in Ohio. So I went through and it was like, "Oh, your PlayStation Plus subscription expired today." I'm like, I knew that. I have a PlayStation card ready to go when it does expire, right? So like, they auto renewed my PlayStation Plus subscription for a year, and I'm like, that's not right. So I went on and I'm like checking my stuff, and it's like, no, it's not on auto renew. It's not on like anything. I have the 3-step verification thing to where like I have to enter my password and like the last 4 digits of my card number to purchase anything on PlayStation, that kind of stuff. And it's like, huh, this is interesting. So I went to the customer service page during the show, and like when it said, how do I fix this? Ask for a refund. Okay. Takes me to this page, and then it goes through this whole thing and says, go to Ask PlayStation on Twitter. I'm like, well, that sounds like a horrible customer service option. But I did anyway. So I tweeted at Ask PlayStation. I said, hi, I need to ask for a refund for a subscription thing that I didn't want to pay for, and it just happened. And so I get all these automated direct messages from Ask PlayStation and said, make sure you follow our customer service steps. And it takes me back to the page that I was just on that said Ask PlayStation. So
the endless loop.
Yeah. And I was like, man, I bet like 90% of the people that do this just stop right here and say, screw it. Yep. I'm like, I have free PlayStation Network subscriptions just like sitting here, right, to use. I'm not paying $60 when I have one.
Exactly.
So I went through the thing, and finally I just kept direct messaging Ask PlayStation until they stopped sending me automated messages, and an actual person came on. And they were like, you can chat with one of our customer service representatives at this link. And I was like, okay, your chat says it's only up until like 8 p.m. Pacific time, and at this point it's like 11:30. And they're like, chat with one of our representatives. And I was like, I can't. This is awful. And then they send me a survey through my direct messages that says, how was your experience? I'm like,
shitty.
I literally haven't had an experience yet, except for talking to an automated Twitter account. Was your agent professional and understanding of your situation?
Can't be professionals when there's no agent.
I know. I'm like, man. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll just get on tomorrow and shuffle through it and stuff. And I got on the automated chat, or on the customer chat thing online, and asked them and went through all these things, but. You know, I'm getting a refund for my PlayStation Plus year subscription thing, but it's going to take like a week to get the money back.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Well, they said 2 to 3 days to be processed by PlayStation, and then whatever the terms of your bank are. And I'm like, well, it's a holiday week, you know, that'll be Wednesday by the time PlayStation's done with this. Thursday, I'm sure the banks are closed. Friday, I'm sure nobody really cares what they're doing, so it'll probably be like next Monday or Tuesday.
Oh yeah,
but
you're getting that before Christmas, maybe.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I'm like, you know what? I should have probably just left it, but at the same time, I'm like, that's $65 I need to use for other things right now.
Yeah.
So, what are you gonna do though? What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But besides that,
the customer service game is never fun. Give me something fun, Corey.
No.
Okay.
Dude. But like, it's weird though, because like Amazon's customer service is super helpful, and like everything gets done like within seconds. And I'm like, no, I don't like PlayStation customer service as much as Amazon. But
yeah,
that's okay. That's all right. Anyways, did play some games. Cool. Not a whole lot of games, but I did play some games. Zelda Master Trials. I'm almost done. I'm on the last section of the Master Trials.
What's the Master Trials again?
It's the 45 round survival mode.
Oh,
where like you basically go in with nothing. You literally go in with nothing unless you cook something and eat it right before you go in, which doesn't really help, because like by the time that first round's over, you're done, and like the first like 5 or 6 rounds are really easy. But like you're surviving off apples and sticks and wooden bows and arrows, and chucked a rock at a guy once and killed him. Like,
sweet.
You're literally surviving off the land. And then you like halfway through the 45 rounds is separated into 15 round chunks where you can save after every 15 rounds. But after the eighth round, in the 15 round thing, there's a room where you can cook food, you can gather resources, and go into the next round kind of ready. So I'm 30 rounds in.
Okay.
finally. And dude, I escaped that last of a heart, half of a heart.
Nice.
It was awful. I thought I was going to die because I was on fire.
Mm-hmm.
I was literally on fire when the round ended, and I ran to the portal. I like sprinted to the portal, and there's like this flaming trail of burning grass behind me because I'm on fire to this portal. I was like, dude, if I die when I go up this portal and they make me restart this whole thing, I quit.
Yeah,
I quit. But yeah, that's tough. I don't know how I'm going to do the next 15 rounds, but
so is it just a horde mode essentially?
I mean, you have to kill all the enemies in an area to move to the next round. So I guess kind of, but there's also the survival element where like you don't go in with any clothes. You literally start naked.
Okay.
And then, you progress from there. So
now, do you find clothes or do you have to?
There's like,
is there like drops?
Yeah, there's not drops at the end of each round, but there are like, you can go through the environment and find things in chests that you can wear or food that you can cook that increases your defense and stuff. So
now what kind of area is it? Is it like an island? Or is it just a room?
No, it's literally like
or is it like a maze?
Like the walls and stuff kind of look like the shrines.
Okay.
And stuff.
All right.
But inside, like the ground is like grass or water or trees and stuff, and like ladders and platforms and stuff that you can hide behind or climb up for safety or all that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's basically pretty generic room designs, but it's like what's inside in the room to use to your advantage is what you use to survive. So
okay.
Man, what a great game.
Yeah.
You know what else is a great game? Horizon is a great game.
Yeah, it's a great...
That Frozen Wilds DLC.
Frozen Wilds is a good time.
I just started it.
Mm-hmm.
And like, man, I'm only like, I fought a bear. That was interesting.
What, the bear, the metal bear or an actual bear?
No, metal bear.
Okay.
It was interesting.
Yeah,
I dove right into it and it murdered me.
Yeah, so. No, yeah. It did that to me too, and I was just like, you know what? All right, I'm gonna have to figure this out. If I couldn't figure it out the second time or the third time, actually I think it took me 3 times. But I figured it out and I've been moving through the story slowly. And then I just decided I was going to bump the difficulty up. And then there was a place where you have to clear out an outlaw fortress or whatever. And like that's the one part of that game that's fucking dumb.
Oh, the bandit camps?
The bandit camps. Yeah. It's the one thing where it's just like, okay, all you have to do is this tactic. And that's the only thing you really can do, because if you try and do anything else, everybody knows where you're at.
Yeah. Basically what I do is like the last bandit camp I went into, and I did this for a couple other ones, but like I had a mount with me and I would just whistle the mount and it would like follow me into the camp, and I would let my mount just kick everyone while I ran away and hid in the
I parked mine right by the door.
Yeah.
And then I would just headshot people that I could.
Yeah.
And then, eventually someone gets tipped off and they see a dead body on the other side of the camp, and they know exactly which door the arrow's coming from because reasons. And then like those little chargers, they just mow down armies for you.
Yeah.
And but I think that's the one thing that Guerrilla did poorly. And I still think that's okay. I still think that's okay. Yeah.
One thing, like the reason why I didn't play Zelda and Horizon at the same time, like I started using Zelda controls.
Oh yeah,
in Horizon, and that is not. Nope.
Bad idea.
Yeah.
Gonna have a bad time.
And then I like switched to like I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider also. And like the one thing I like about Rise of the Tomb Raider that you can't do in Horizon that I kept trying to do too was like start like pulling the tension back on your bow before you start aiming, which you can't do in Horizon either.
You can't.
So I would find myself like doing other things instead of like drawing my bow or like pulling the tension on my bow before I aim. I'm like, huh, that's not right.
Yeah, I think, well, did you play Rise of the Tomb Raider after Horizon or before?
No. Well, I've started playing it again on PlayStation because I want to see like the 60 frames a second stuff and maybe a little bit of HDR, even though my TV doesn't do it. So I was like, oh yeah, that's probably yeah. Horizon. Man, every time I'm like so sure that Zelda's my game of the year, I start playing Horizon and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I think I've been going back and forth since I finished Zelda. And it's really hard to separate those two games.
I know.
Because, I mean, both games do certain things in dumb ways.
Yeah, and like I really think like Zelda has the gameplay down and like, well, like the basics of gameplay. Like I think the depth of Horizon is better, but I think just the basics in Zelda makes that gameplay better. And like I think Link moves better than Aloy. Like I just think he controls better than Aloy. But I think
he does too.
When you get into Horizon and you see the depth of the world, the depth of the characters, the civilizations, and like just the little things that make them unique. And then you get into these structures that, aren't really possible on Switch, at least to that magnitude. And like, you see the ways that the machines interact not only with you, but each other. And like, it's like, man, like I love Nintendo to death. But man, Horizon is like, that is a special game.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And like, I really like Aloy as a character and I like the story and I want more. And these are the two games that I just keep thinking like, I want more. And every time I stop playing them for like 6 weeks, 2 months, 3 months at a time, it's like, man, I really want to play more of both those games.
Yeah. No, it's like, I think the real difference is Zelda is a game of systems that are in place and all of the mechanics you need are given to you up front. And I think Horizon that's not really possible. And I think like I think it's interesting that you can combine different materials, not just for food, but like you can create an airship in Zelda.
Right.
and you can turn a field that's burning all around you that should kill you into a way out if you just find a way to use your glider, because it'll updraft you out, because that's how physics and chemistry work. Heat rises, and that you can't do in Horizon. But Horizon is like the clockwork world that's built a certain way, and you just sort of trot along the gears and you can find your way through it. Zelda, everything is working all at once, and the fact that everything is working all at once, and the game doesn't just implode because it's Nintendo, it's an accomplishment. And I think that's why you talk about other games that have come out this year. No, nothing comes close. Like nothing comes close to either of those two. You been playing anything else?
What have I been? I've been playing. I've been trying to play some like online multiplayer stuff that's just like it's not hitting the right, because like sometimes I just want to come home and like sit down and play a game for like 20 minutes and shoot stuff and not care about anything, but like nothing's hitting that itch, man. Nothing's scratching that itch. It's like Halo 5 is played out and just not. I mean, it's a great game, but it's also a great game that I've played for 2 years. You know? And it's not like something like Bloodborne or Horizon that like you could play a different way, or you can like find different routes through this area, or something like that. It's the same maps, it's the same guns, it's the same 13-year-olds calling you an ass face. Like it's all played out, and Gears of War is the same way. And God, I haven't even turned Destiny on in like 3 weeks. Don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, I think like, and I was definitely anti-Destiny when it came out. For the record, I'm still anti-Destiny, but at the same time, the community, like it seemed like Destiny 1 came out, everybody was on the defensive for Destiny 1 because it seemed like just a rinse repeat thing. But because they got the mechanics so well, everyone's like, well, this is fun, so I'm going to play it. Yeah, I get it. It's not the greatest thing, but it's really all I want to play. I've not seen that out of Destiny 2 at all.
Yeah, I haven't seen it either. And like the last time I popped in was to download the last update 2 updates ago. I don't even remember at this point, but like it loaded me into a tower which holds 30 people, and there was 5 people in the tower, and I'm like, yeah, this is pretty standard, it seems like now. So and like it's part like there's so many other great games to play, but it's also like there's a lot missing in this game that was in Destiny 1, and like you don't really notice what's missing until you've gotten 30-40 hours into your playtime, which is like, yeah, that's a lot of playtime, but to hardcore Destiny fans, that's like a week. So I mean, you're talking to me who played 700 hours of Destiny 1, and my friend Brian who played almost 2,000 hours of Destiny 1. Like,
yeah,
it's to stop after, I think my last, like, there's a website called timewastedindestiny2.com, and like you just enter in your gamer tag or whatever, and it tells you how much time you've played it. I haven't broken the 100-hour mark yet. And like it's not like that's a problem, but like it kind of is when you are trying to build a game that you want people to stay in, and it's been out for 3 months,
Yeah, when you're really aiming at the game as a service thing, and your service is not even worth coming back to for that long. I think you might have missed.
And like
Activision owns Bungie, right?
No.
Is Bungie self-contained, or?
Bungie is an independent developer with a publishing contract with Activision through the end of Destiny's lifespan.
Okay. All right.
But the thing is like the content is there, but the drops aren't. And then they've made it so easy to do the small content to level up that it's not worth doing the other content. Like the big thing in Destiny 1 was strikes. That's how you leveled up, got specific gear and everything. But now they do these things like public events. They made them actually worthwhile, and like you get the same rewards from doing public events on a planet that you would in a strike on that planet. So like I'm not going to go do a strike for 25-30 minutes when I can go do a public event in 3, and I can get like 7 public events done in the time it takes to do a strike and get the same amount of gear or the same possibility of things, And like the only thing you get different in strikes are the Vanguard tokens, but at the same time, like the Vanguard tokens only get you the Vanguard gear, which drop in the world. So it's not like that's any incentive. And like, I know the new expansion is going to change some things and stuff, but a lot of people are saying like, you know, it's not really worth jumping back in because the content is there, and that's not the problem. The problem is the way things are dropped and the way you have to literally rely on a slot machine to get stuff, you know, instead of like, I mean, you played enough Destiny, you want to know that you could go up to a vendor and buy specific things if you wanted something. Like if you wanted an auto rifle, you could go buy it.
Yeah.
If you wanted a scout rifle, you go buy it. There's none of
was
that.
it the one you wanted? Not necessarily, but
it was serviceable until you got the one that you wanted.
Yeah.
And there's not even that option in Destiny 2. Like there's no vendors except for Xur on the weekends, and nobody goes to him because the exotics are worthless. So
wow.
I mean, they literally made a lot of the legendary guns better than the exotic counterparts, to the point where like the last raid we ran, I think like most of us weren't even running exotic weapons.
Jeez.
So
now Galahorn, was that a legendary or an exotic?
Exotic.
Okay.
But you know, I like the way Destiny plays. I'm not as invested in Destiny 2 as I was in Destiny 1, and like that's okay. Like that's okay, you know? I just have other things to play, other things to do, and there's better games out now, you know, and I'm avoiding Star Wars like the plague right now.
Like I've seen so many people playing that. I'm like, you were the fuckers that complained.
I know. So many people have complained, and
like,
my PlayStation list and both lists, my PlayStation list and Xbox list, are full of people that like I have heard complain either like on somebody else's podcast or in Facebook groups or in like other things, and I see my Xbox and PlayStation list: Star Wars, Call of Duty, Star Wars.
You fuckers are the problem. I love and respect some of you people, and you're the problem. Well, and see, and like the funny thing is, at PAX, we took a break to go get some food. Brian Pelfrey, my girlfriend, and I. Well, yeah, eating's a good time. But we started talking about this, and Reba, she wants to be part of the conversation. She asked, "So what happened? Like, what's going on?" And I said, "Imagine you picked up any supposedly self-contained board game here. Not like you decided you were going to build a guild ball team, or you know, get into Malifaux or War Machine where you have to literally buy your army. But let's say you bought Chutes and Ladders or Ticket to Ride or something.
Monopoly.
Monopoly. And then they're like you have everything but the pieces you play as. And she's like, that's dumb. Exactly. But because it's Star Wars, EA is banking on Star Wars for people to buy it and pay for that stuff. I don't know enough to know if my analogy is 100% correct, but I feel like I'm in the ballpark. And that just like you people that are playing Battlefront 2 and partaking in that have no reason to complain.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing about that, though. I mean, people who have complained, like whether they bought the game or not, people who have complained have gotten the attention of Disney now, though. And it's like Disney is threatening to take away their exclusive license, apparently. Like that's the rumor right now.
Yeah, and they're threatening that until NPD comes out. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I know, but like they got someone's attention at least, and like so many people have complained about loot boxes, and when is it going to end? Like, at least I think maybe we've reached a tipping point. At like, this is exactly how you don't do it. You know, not that loot boxes are going away, but this is how you don't do it.
Yeah, like I feel like I mean, hopefully somebody will listen. Now, and to be honest, while I do not condone or endorse what EA has done, I can respect the cojones they're displaying by doing it because, hey, you have an IP that people in this sphere love and or worship.
I mean, it's a business, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
They're trying to capitalize and see how far they can push it without people complaining, and they push too hard. And
they push too hard. But see, the funny thing is, another IP comes along. Like, I mean, I don't think Marvel is as big as Star Wars, but I feel like I mean, again, that's a debate we could have. We don't need to though, but I feel like that could
check out Secret Friends Unite for that debate.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, but every time I walk into Secret Friends, Todd's like, "Hey, Matt likes Steely Dan." What an idiot. And he's right on both counts, but whatever. But like, I think that if Marvel were to do that and severely fail, like to the point of losing a shit ton of money, that would be the thing that sort of turns heads.
Yeah.
But even then, that type of mistake wouldn't be the one where Marvel says, "Yeah, we're going to shut our doors now," because they have too many other properties.
Yeah. Loot boxes, man. They're everywhere. And like, I don't mind loot boxes. Like,
me either.
I mean, I've bought tons of loot boxes. Well, not tons, but like, you know, I've thrown like $15 at Overwatch for like,
oh yeah,
you know what? You guys done good. I want like, some stuff.
Yeah, I was just like, you know what? You Blizzard, you go. And you know, and I think I handed Blizzard $40 for loot boxes in Overwatch, and I don't regret it. I mean, yes, I was ticked off that I didn't get the outfit I wanted, and whatever. It's a goddamn slot machine anyway. So but I knew that gamble going in, and I knew that, well, okay, if I wanted to get this outfit, I need to keep playing. And then
you know what Blizzard does though that a lot of other companies don't do, and Destiny definitely doesn't do. And like, not that like microtransactions for Destiny, but I'm talking about like their loot drops. But like, once you get an item, Blizzard significantly drops the rate at which you're going to get a duplicate, which is awesome.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you do get a duplicate, it breaks it down automatically and gives you the in-game currency anyway.
Exactly.
To buy something else. So it's like, that's good. That's, you know, I mean, I think out of all the loot boxes I've gotten in Overwatch, like I've gotten every single like voiceover thing, every single emote, every single like little character picture. No costumes. Never ever get costumes. So like, you know, maybe the next one I'll get a costume or
hopefully
two. But
hopefully.
I mean, that's just always like a joke. Whenever we're playing Overwatch and I get one of the loot crates, they're always like, "Man, I got that sweet Reaper skin," or "Man, I got that cool Mercy skin from Halloween." And like, I'm like, "Cool, I got a spray of a smiley face with no eyeball." Yeah. So like, but like for me, it's just like, I like the characters in Overwatch and like the skins they're wearing. Like, they're cool and you can like look at them, but they don't affect how I like to play the game.
Yeah, and that's sort of. I mean, I've gone into a match, and Reinhardt's my dude. Reinhardt, you my bro.
He's one of the 5 players I play as too. Woo!
Yeah, that hammer man. But I've seen tons and tons of like cool diva skins, or I've seen some really wicked Torbjorn ones.
The pirate one is hilarious.
Yeah, like and the Mercy and who's the weird one?
The weird
Zenyatta.
Yeah, the like Zenyatta ones, like
the Zenyatta
Nutcracker one.
Yeah, the Zenyatta skins, like that's fucking creativity, man. But like, you know, and if I had a a group around me that was willing to play that as much, I would probably have more, but I just don't. And and I haven't jumped into Overwatch in a very long time.
I was actually almost jumped in to play that last night, but I was like, I'm really tired, dude. It's like 1 o'clock in the morning and I gotta be at work. But like that was like the game that I was like, I could play a couple matches of Overwatch for like a half hour.
Like Overwatch is just fun. Speaking of just fun, I'm going to transition to me real quick. Unless you've been playing anything else that you really need to talk about.
No, I'm good.
Fortnite is really goddamn fun.
I downloaded it on PlayStation when you said something like last week, I think. It might have been in the Facebook group or like Fathers of Grind Facebook group or one of the 100 million Facebook groups we're in.
Yeah.
But like I downloaded it on PlayStation. So like the next time you get on and play, like maybe this week or maybe this weekend or something, I'll play with you.
Okay. All right. I will try and get on this weekend. I work basically every day now through, basically through December 1st. And it's the 20th now. So it'll be rough, but I can make something happen. Hopefully, like I would aim at Sunday night, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't think we're recording anything this weekend, like for the other shows.
Yeah, because of the holiday. It's Thanksgiving. Everyone eat turkey, and if that's your thing, shop. But I feel like since the last time I was playing the Battle Royale mode, they changed up the daily like challenges. And it was, or at least I had more than just one of them to really look at. And I've started getting a little more aggressive in that game rather than just sort of hiding out and seeing what I can find until it hits like the top 20. And then I have to really, I have to really just go to where the people are. But it sucks that I won't get to play Battlegrounds this year, and I don't think I'll get to play the full version of Fortnite this year, so I can't really include them in Game of the Year, but I think I will leave a place on my list for just Battle Royale mode in general. I know neither of these games are the first ones to do it, but I think both of them in their way have done something cool with it. Like I like how in Fortnite you can be running along and then all of a sudden you get shot. If you have any idea as to where you're shot from, you just start building a wall and it protects you for like split seconds, which is really cool. Or you can just hide out in one place, and as long as you can tell where the storm is going to collapse, so you just sort of make your guess and just build around yourself and just hole up for as long as you can. And it's surprising a lot of the time, by the time people get near you, it's amazing how many people are just have no health left. But that game is like, that idea is, it's really fun. And I know that I'm not even close to the first person to utter those words, but thank God something like that happened to shooters.
Right.
And because if it wasn't story based, like I could conceivably see myself not really doing first person shooters anymore. Yes, I would do Doom because I have a long history with that series. I would do Wolfenstein, which I'm hearing enough about that game where I'm just like, man, I should probably try and just shoot through it for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
But this has been a special year in games.
I know. And I'm still like, I have 3 more games coming my way just in time for our Game of the Year show. Like, I mean, by the time this airs, my birthday will already happen, but my birthday is this upcoming weekend, and I'm getting Rime for Switch.
Nice.
and Assassin's Creed Origins and Wolfenstein 2 are the 3 games that I'm getting. And I'm like, I don't really know where to start, but I know I need to play through some of them. I'm like, I'll probably just blow through Wolfenstein's story.
Yeah.
Because, it's probably the shortest one of the 3. And then Assassin's Creed will be the big game I just sink a lot of time into, like I did Horizon. And then Rhyme will be like, oh, it's time for bed. Let's, I don't really know what that game's about, but like pull out the Switch and solve a puzzle or walk from this area to this area or whatever, so.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Speaking of Switch, I've been playing Mario and Rabbids.
Yeah.
Like that game is, I'm probably halfway through the third act, through like third world or whatever.
Seriously, you're that far already?
I'm pretty. Oh yeah, that game's easy. That game's easy as fuck.
Well, I guess I've been like walking around each world trying to find all like the secrets.
I started doing that, but then I'm just like, you know what? I'm just gonna like, I will be 100% honest. I'm just trying to play Nintendo games. Like I'm just gonna play through them and most likely just be done with them because you can. And if something comes up where like, hey, this is really freaking interesting, you should try this part of it, maybe I'll go back. But yeah, silly XCOM is a goddamn good time. And I feel like people, I mean, understandable if strategy, tactics stuff aren't your thing. And generally it's not mine. It's not something that I could sit down and I can't really pick apart games like Civ or whatever, or any tactics game you can name. Like I never played Final Fantasy Tactics because I hate Final Fantasy. I did like XCOM and that's more tactical, but there was an accessibility to XCOM that I still can't really explain. And I feel like that accessibility is transported here. And I think that they balance the difficulty and the zaniness and the ever-present whimsy of the Mushroom Kingdom kind of being ruined by the Rabbids. They present that really well. I think if Nintendo ever wanted to send their properties out, I think Ubisoft did the world a great service. And it's up to another developer or publisher to ruin that service and not them.
Right. Man, I mean, like, I wonder if they're going to, like, trust Ubisoft with more now that, like, this game was such a success. Or, like, I know they're trying to do that Super Mario Brothers movie with the Minions studio or whatever, but, like, I think Nintendo really loosening the belt on some of these franchises is doing them some favors.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, and like actually like getting in there and helping Bethesda get Skyrim and Doom and Wolfenstein on Switch, like that's a big deal. That is a big deal. They might not be the optimal way to play those games, but just knowing that they're available there is like it's such a big deal, man.
Yeah.
And Doom on Switch, by the way, that multiplayer is like really funny to play on a Switch.
Funny how?
Like 540p, real blurry, but then you just see like blurry guts all over your screen when you shoot someone with a grenade launcher. Funny.
All right. That's cool.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah, like I think that you look at what we did for motion controls, and immediately Microsoft and Sony brought out their own motion controls. And because they did kind of a shoddy job at it, motion controls died. But the fact is, both those companies took cues from quote unquote the lesser of the three. And I feel like the Switch will probably be sort of a beacon and say, hey, do this with your systems. And I think them putting Ubisoft in charge of a property to try something, that probably points the way too. Like, hey, if you do this, we might just say, hey, you want to develop this game? Develop it. We'll see what you got.
Maybe they'll do Metroid Prime Federation Force 2 in the form of the Division.
Wow. That's a wow. Did you pull a muscle stretching that far?
Here's the thing, okay? I thought Metroid Prime Federation Force was a good idea in theory. It's basically like Metroid Destiny. You go in, do missions with your friends, get cool stuff to upgrade your bounty hunter suit, go back in, do new levels, shoot some bosses, upgrade your stuff. Maybe shoot each other a little bit, maybe play some of that stupid laser gun gravity soccer game that they put in there. I don't remember what it was called, but forgive me. It just sucked. It was on the wrong platform. It just sucked, right? I mean, like, even if they put it on the Wii U, it still would have sucked because, like, let's be honest, the Wii U was good for like 3 games.
Yeah.
You know? But, like, I think with something as successful as the Switch, like, I think after Metroid Prime 4 comes out, or like with that package, like, I really think Nintendo may have something with if they want to like try the games as a service thing, but like not do the microtransactions things, because it seems like they don't really want to do that. Like, Metroid would be the right franchise to do that with like your custom bounty hunter that you level up and kind of put new armor and gear on, and like cool blasters and like cool new helmets, and like, oh man, look, I got that sweet visor that scans your enemy's red or whatever, you know? Like, it especially like, since they like to simplify things, I think that would be like a simpler version for people to get into, and then they could like go out and maybe try Destiny or the Division or Rainbow Six or whatever, you know? I still think that'd be a sweet idea. But like, Metroid Prime 4 has got to come first, and we know it's coming, but like,
when is it coming?
Yeah, not like this year.
Like, every Metroid fan this side of the sun is saying it has to come in 2018, right? No, it doesn't.
No, dude, they've got Pokemon and probably Smash Brothers next year, and you know, the rumor of Donkey Kong and Fire Emblem. They don't need Metroid next year, dude. Like,
no, they don't. They don't. The thing is, I don't think it's fair if we just start saying what they do or don't need. I'm kind of curious to see how Nintendo follows up a banner year.
Right. Well, their spring is loaded too. Like, their spring is so loaded. They have just before ETH, like it says Q1, Q2. The Switch list is let me see. I have a list.
Okay.
We've got Lost Sphere in January, Wolfenstein 2, Yoshi, Kirby Star Allies, Fire Emblem.
Yoshi.
It's the follow-up to Yoshi's Woolly World, but everything's
it was just called Yoshi, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't have an official name for it yet. Project Octopath Traveler. What was the other one?
I feel like I've seen that game a lot, but I still don't know what it is.
Oh my gosh, dude! Download the demo on your Switch. There's a demo.
I would do demos.
Oh well, you should try it. It's pretty good. It's real good. It's like 16-bit turn-based RPG with like a lot of cool story elements in it. It's really cool.
All right, there we go. Now we're speaking my language.
Yeah, and the art style is amazing. Like, it's like what you remember 16-bit kind of looking like, but if like they never went 3D, like if graphics never went 3D and just kind of evolved off the 16-bit style, that's what this game looks like.
Okay.
So it's so cool. It's so cool. Dragon Quest 11 localization, and then what was the last one? Shin Megami Tensei 5, not guaranteed for a Western release, but still coming out in Q.
Wasn't 5 already made though?
4 was for 3DS.
I thought 5 already had.
No, they released they released 6 versions of 4. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, Atlas doing their thing.
Yeah, and then not even like the second half of the year is like that rumored Donkey Kong game, Pokemon for Switch, and then No More Heroes, Valkyria Chronicles 4, which was announced yesterday, and another Ace Attorney game. So like that's like
finally.
That's what, like 15 games are just named, not including any indie games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't need Metroid Prime next year.
Well, I don't think they do for their base, but I think they need to. I mean,
they can show it.
They can, yeah. Like well, no, but I'm not saying they need Metroid, but they need. I feel like they need just something else.
2D Donkey Kong. That sells a lot.
But Pokemon. See, I'm not talking. You're missing my point. I'm talking about they need something to continue to bring others in. I don't think the Switch needs to sell PS4 numbers, but I think if it beats the Xbox overall, like that says something. In order for that to happen, or at least to move towards that happening, they need something else.
What do you think they need? Like, I know Telltale said they're going to try to bring their entire library over at some point.
Which everybody's already played those games. Who's going to play them on their Switch? I know I won't. But they need, like, I think they need to. And this is where I lose everybody because I don't have any answers. I think they need just something that others will like to play, that makes sense for a portable platform, because most people still look at it as a portable platform.
I can't tell you how I've probably played it. Like since I got it on launch day, I've probably played maybe 10 hours on TV. Yeah,
I didn't even hook it up. I like my dock is still in the box. Like I played through all of it on the bus or in the slower times at work, because that's why I bought it, because I could do that. But I feel and I don't have the answer, because what I like about paying attention to games is I'm not like a Jeff Gerstmann or anybody that's been in this industry for a very long time, just staring at it and watching people beating their heads and figure out, oh, this is where you're going to go. But I feel like they need something that's going to bring people in, and I just don't.
You think Virtual Console would bring people in?
No,
I mean, you still haven't seen it.
No, I don't think Virtual Console would bring. I feel like if they got out there and just spoke to the gaming community at large, and let's just say they leaned into indies the way Sony did towards the end of the PS3 and the beginning of the PS4, and those indies were console exclusive on their platform for a time, I feel like more people would at least look that direction and say, hey, I mean, they and with this in mind, they have to stop with the 3DS. 3DS needs to just die. They need to just say 3D dead.
Well, they basically said that with like the nail in the coffin with Pokemon. This is the last Pokemon release on 3DS, which is like
finally.
I mean, that's got to be the nail, right? That's one of the many nails in this coffin. Like Nintendo's not doing first party support anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Pokemon's not coming next year to it. Yeah. Like That's got to be it, man.
But
And like,
there has to be just a clearly defined, this is dead to us.
but then you turn your head and you're like, they just redesigned it and took the 3D out to sell a new model. Like, who's buying a 3DS at this point? Oh my gosh! And like my mom's been looking for something for my 7-year-old cousin to like my cousin's kid just turned 7 this year, and he's like really getting into video games, but they still only have a Wii because like they're not gamers at all, and they only have like Lego Star Wars and stuff. But like he really wants an Xbox One, and like my mom's like, "Oh, what about this 2DS?" I'm like,
no.
I'm like, no,
because I mean now. Fiscally, that makes sense because the 3DS has a huge library and they could probably get a bunch of games used for very, very cheap. But if their child is into this at all, the games he's going to want are not coming out on that platform.
That's what I told her. I'm like, yes, that nasty potato wedge looking 2DS that's $80 is like, it's affordable. But I'm like, that's all I'm gonna say it is, because like they're like Pokemon's the last big release. Like he wants a Switch really bad, but like I don't like a 7-year-old doesn't need that either. Like I think like the $200 Minecraft Xbox bundle would be like the easiest way to go for him, just because like he's not into games that much, but he loves Minecraft and he loves Lego and he loves Star Wars, and like, or even the $200 PlayStation, and just get him a couple used PlayStation 4 games. I just like the 3DS is not the way to go.
I also feel like the Switch could solve another problem with its portability.
Yeah,
but are they gonna pay for it just so he can take Minecraft everywhere?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you should just like buy him a used Vita in Minecraft.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, the system, like, yeah, it's the same position as the 3DS. There's not really any major games coming out for it, but there's a ton of indie games and kid-friendly games like Minecraft, Little Big Planet, Lego games, even Shovel Knight, and Spelunky, and
I'd throw Spelunky is maybe not Super Meat Boy. Super Meat Boy is but I feel like Spelunky can be a kid-friendly game, but it just depends on how hard they bounce off of it.
Right.
Because before I became really obsessed with Spelunky, like I wanted to get far in it, and that took time because I had to learn the rules of Spelunky. It wasn't just like, oh well, it's just platforming. You just jump and then you head down. There are a lot of things in that game that just ritualistically almost seem to just fuck you. But like if that game were on Switch, that's when I'd say, you know what, try it, because at least it'll be something he continues. But I don't know. Like at work, I was playing my Switch one time, and they said, "Well, my kid wants games. Like, what do you recommend?" I'm like, "What do you have?" And a lot of the time, he has a Wii, but he wants to upgrade to the Wii U, and I'm like, okay, that's a bad idea for a couple of reasons. The Wii U and the Wii are both dead platforms. Nintendo, who makes them, has the Switch out, and you're not going to find new games. Now, if you think your son or daughter is actually into games and wants to keep playing newest latest stuff, look at PS4 or the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason I say both of those is I have both and have done serious looking at both, but it doesn't take serious looking to know that there's not a lot selling you an Xbox because you can play most of those games everywhere else.
Yeah, and that was the conversation I was having. Was like, look, like Xbox is for a very specific type of person, and you know, it's if you're looking to play, if you're looking to get a kid into gaming, like Nintendo is like the kid friendly route. Obviously, like he wants to play Odyssey really bad, Mario Odyssey, and like, you know, that's not really like a kid friendly Mario game. It like, you know, it's hard. Like it gets really hard, but like, you know, I'm sure the Lego games are coming eventually. Minecraft's already on there, but then you look at PS4 and it's like, well, him and his dad are both obsessed with Star Wars, so like, you could get Lego Force Awakens for him, and then God forgive me for saying this, but like Battlefront 2 for the dad, and like when he's a little bit older, maybe he can watch his dad play through the campaign, or you know, they can look at it together. It's like microtransactions aside, like Battlefront 2 is one of the most amazing looking games I've ever seen running. Right. Like Frostbite engine is like a killer engine to run a first person shooter with big, huge environments, right? And Star Wars is the franchise to do that with. And like, you know, if you're looking for something, like get that, like the PlayStation 4 Slim is $189 on Black Friday. Like, go nuts. Like Lego Star Wars is $10 on Black Friday, and you know, Battlefront 2 is going to be probably like $40 on Black Friday, or it's going to be on sale when the movie comes out. Like that's honestly, that's probably what I would tell them to do if they were to get something. Just because like, I think for them, Star Wars is a lot more like, they love Star Wars, whereas like Mario is just kind of like a flash in the pan right now for them, because you know, you see him on TV, he's in commercials, Target commercials, advertising the crap out of it on Nickelodeon and stuff. So like, but Star Wars is like
Star Wars is Star Wars.
Star Wars to them is what vinyl is to you, right? They have everything Star Wars, movies, coloring books, stickers, toys, Lego,
the sheets, the pillowcases.
Yeah. You have vinyl pillowcases, Matt?
No, that's not comfortable at all. And it's my one regret with this hobby. But the one thing I've said, and my friend Erin from back home, she was asking me about it, and I said, look, if your son wants an Xbox, there's just not a lot of games there, or at least not a lot that will keep him on that platform, because eventually he will say, well, I want a PS4 because it has all this. And like Halo doesn't have the name it used to. Like, right.
Well, he wants to play all the Dragon Ball Z games, and I'm pretty sure
dude, there's more Dragon Ball Z on PlayStation than there ever will be on Xbox.
Exactly. And I'm like, I think there's probably more you can get used and cheap on PlayStation than you can on Xbox. Plus, if you wanted to if we wanted to invest the extra money, you could do $60 for a PS Plus membership, and he gets free games every month.
Yeah.
And, you know, now bear in mind, those games will not be the games you see on TV at the time you see them on TV. But it's you could say, hey, here's a new game for you every month. All you have to do is set your calendar to the first Tuesday of every month, and then that's when they're there.
Yeah, like you know how many games I've gotten for free just in the like last 2 years that like you start racking them up. You know, I've gotten both infamous releases, Little Big Planet 3, Metal Gear Solid 5 last month. You know, there's been so many games that I was like skeptical of spending money on, and then I get them for free, and I'm just like, okay, I can do this. Like, I'll play through it. And like, Infamous ends up being one of my favorite games on the system. You know, it's awesome, and like,
I know like Xbox has a lot of the same third-party games, but like they're just not in a good place with exclusives right now. Like they just really aren't, and there's not a lot to look forward to right now, unless you want to like shoot something.
Which
literally, I mean, that's literally all that's there. Like Crackdown, shoot stuff. State of Decay 2, shoot stuff. Like upgrades to Halo 5 and Gears of War 4 and Fallout 4, and I know that's not an exclusive, but like basically shooting stuff. Like PUBG, shooting stuff. Forza, shooting stuff. Just kidding. Although they did add the Gears of War racing suits to the avatars.
Oh, great. Gears of Forza, great, perfect.
Yep.
But like the one thing that, there's really not just one thing, but I think Xbox games are what people who don't play video games, or even play video games only at the casualist of level, that's how they look at video games. They just say, oh, he's playing video games, so he's shooting stuff. That's it. I mean, I've been in conversations with people who have, I'm getting to the point where I'm pretty liberal with whom I tell I play video games. They're like, oh, so you play Call of Duty? And I'm like, nope, haven't played it in like 3 years. And the last one I played before that was like 4 years before that. So I don't play Call of Duty. They're like, but you play video games. It's like what everybody says, about you in Game of Thrones. Oh, you have to like Game of Thrones because you play video games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, because there's way more than that. And there's some decent stories in video games, even though story's not really the most important part of it. More often than not, the best video games are about puzzle solving. And because that's all a video game is. It's a series of puzzles coming at you at 30 to 60 frames a second, and you have to get through that. However, sometimes the puzzle solving mechanic is shooting stuff, but sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And more often than not, the times it's not are what keeps me involved. So
yeah.
That's always going to be a silly argument you get into.
And like it's weird that like video games have become so mainstream, yet like it's still so far from being mainstream like that. Where like, people I work with are like, it's weird because today I was having a discussion with one guy who's like really into video games, and like, he loves Dark Souls and Horizon and Uncharted, and like, he bought a PlayStation for all that, and then like, he just got a Switch, so he's playing through Zelda right now, and he got Mario, and he's playing Splatoon and stuff like that, and that's super cool to see someone like, how like I don't want to stereotype people because like that's just not like, but like you look at him and you would look at him and have this all assuming look at him and be like, okay, if he plays video games, he's playing NBA 2K or Call of Duty or something like, like if he plays games at all, those are the games he likes to play, and which, he does, but like he likes the other games too. And then in the middle of the spectrum, I'm working, and one of the ladies that works there, she has kids, and she's just like a generic kind of looking mom, and she just got a Nintendo Switch, and she's like, yeah, I hear everybody talking about this thing, and saw it on the shelf at Target the other day, so I bought one. She's like, what kind of games do I play on it? I'm like, oh, well,
it's not really how it works.
I know. That's
like, no. I mean, I'd be like, I'm not saying that to like tell you that. I know you know that. Like that should be your answer. Like that's not like.
I know, but her husband and her son play PlayStation. And like sometimes she knows what video games are, but she doesn't like play them.
Right.
I'm like, well, what do you like to do? She's like, well, I was thinking about getting that new Mario game, and I like she was naming some like mobile games that are like puzzle games, like Candy Crush and Bejeweled and stuff. I'm like, well, Puyo Puyo Tetris is out. It's like, you know, Tetris.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, and I'm like, probably like that. I don't really know what else to recommend to you because, like, you're like a mom. Well, I know you wouldn't sit there and play like Zelda, but there's a ton of indie games that she might enjoy, like, you know. But I don't know what to tell her because, like, she probably doesn't know about like the indie scene of video games or.
Oh, geez, yeah, no, yeah, no.
Trying to explain to mom what an indie game is like.
It's even weirder because, like, sometimes if you see someone who only knows games, is like you go to a store, buy it, put it in your console, and it goes. And you try and explain to them buying a digital game that you can't find. So it's like, oh, well, I don't want to do that because I don't want people to steal my credit card information. It's like, no, this isn't 2002 when the internet was still, you know, in its less than 10 years old of ubiquity in the wild, wild west.
What a great movie starring Will Smith.
Oh, fuck off, Corey. Oh, God. Now, see, it's like, I'm not angry that you said that, but when you say that, like, everything surrounding that movie comes into my head, and I have the song, and it won't leave. It won't leave. Why did you do this to me, Corey? But like, it's not. It's weirder now, but it's not as weird as it was.
Yeah,
it is just everything is just a different kind of weird, and surprisingly, a lot of the time, card information is really safe. But
yeah,
my whole thing is like, just. It's hard to be the whole play what you love what you play thing when you're talking with someone who doesn't know. And not that they don't know, like, oh, well, they're just filthy casual and they don't know what real games are. But it's just, if someone's new to it like that and all they've played are like Candy Crush and you don't have anything that they sort of are familiar with to recommend them, like, that's when you start asking, okay, like you did, what games do you like? What have you played? What are you interested in? And like when I was, honestly, this woman sounds like me at PAX Unplugged, because when Pelfrey was asking me, he's like, so what games do you play? And I'm like, well, I've played Guild Ball a few times, and I like that. And he had like seen that and was familiar with it. It's like, okay, so tabletop miniatures games. I'm like, what I like about Guild Ball in that sort of context is that you don't have to buy and paint an army in order to play. You need 6 characters. Done. And then luckily there's a single set that you buy. You get 2 teams. They're not really painted, but you can at least play with 2 players at that point. And it's a 2-player game anyway. But I also like things that aren't just super open-ended and heavy with, I don't want to do homework at the table while I'm playing. And he's like, okay, well, let's start talking concepts. You know, do you like a deck building game? I'm like, well, I've never really played one, but these games I've heard of, like Dominion and Clank, interest me, so I want to try them. Or, you know, I just like a strictly, you know, completely linear self-contained board game. He's like, oh, well, you should try Ticket to Ride or things like that. But even getting that far into the conversation, I was at least familiar with what he was talking to me about.
Yeah.
And trying to do that with a mother who said, "Oh, I saw this Switch. People are talking about it. I have one now." But all I've ever played is Candy Crush.
Yeah. Well, like I told her, I'm like, well, I'm sure your kids are probably going to use it, right? And I'm like, Mario Kart's probably a good idea to get. And I said Puyo Puyo Tetris because like that's really the only puzzle game I can really think of that's on the console right now. And I'm like, if you guys want to play games together, like the Jackbox Party Pack is on there. And I started saying like there's a bunch of like weird games you can download off this Nintendo store that like Overcooked, which is like this really frantic cooking simulator, and like I don't know if you like passive games, but there's like a weird little city farming game called Stardew Valley that you might like. And she's like, yeah, I really only asked you because like you're like the video game guy here. And I'm like, so you've heard of me.
I have a podcast.
So like, and then I was like, I really don't know what to tell you. Like, I'm sure your son would like Zelda, like, because like I know he's played her. She's like, he plays this game where he blows up robot dinosaurs. I'm like, nah, Horizon, good choice. And he's like, I don't know, it's this red-haired chick shooting bows and arrows that are made out of lasers or something. I'm like, close.
I mean,
close.
Oh, yeah, you're not wrong. I'm not sure Terra Blast is made of organic material.
True.
But
I'm like, Zelda's probably like a safe choice. So like I was trying to name like these games that like would be simple enough for them to understand, even if they are indie games. I'm like, some of these you can't go to like Target and buy. You have to go on their digital store and like buy them like you would on iTunes. She's like, well, I download songs all the time. That should be easy enough. I'm like, okay, well, it's the same thing. It's just games instead of songs. So and then like after I got done explaining to her the other lady that walks up, it's just like she's like one of those people that's like oblivious to everything. Just like she shows up to work to socialize and stuff, and it's not really like a job for her. She's like, my nephew plays video games and all he does is shoot things. I'm like, well, okay.
There's plenty of that.
I'm like, yeah, conversation over. Pretty much. It was like, I mean, I was like having like a semi-intelligent conversation with someone that doesn't really know a lot about games, and it, like that's fine. A lot of people don't, and like it's good to ask questions if you get something that you're unsure of. But then you get people that are just like shoot stuff. I'm like, okay, it's over.
You're like, that's clearly all you think this is. And you're mostly right.
I mean, like, there's a very large subsection of gaming that shoots stuff.
A subsection, that's kind of the plurality of video games at some point. I mean, even
it's like you have a pie.
Yeah. And there's the it's not a majority, but it's the biggest thing. It's the biggest portion of it without being a majority. Shooters.
Well, it's like here's the pie, and this is the shooty bang bang pie, and then here's another pie. It's everything else.
It's a smaller pie.
It's a smaller pie. It's like a pot pie, if you will, chicken pot pie.
Oh, chicken pot pie is amazing. Now I'm hungry. Homemade chicken pot pie is the best, though.
Yeah.
Speaking
of chicken pot pie, dude, I'm so excited for Thanksgiving because like I don't really eat turkey. Like I like deli meat turkey, but I don't really do like the whole cook the bird in the oven and eat it turkey.
Is anybody around you doing that or no?
Yeah, we're going to my cousin's house, but like my mom's taking shredded barbecue chicken for like people who don't eat turkey. So like me.
You know what you need to do. You know, are you just completely averse to hot turkey at this point, or
No, I just
okay, all right,
dude. Every Thanksgiving, I like try to eat a turkey, and every Thanksgiving, I'm like, why do I keep trying to eat?
Here's what you're gonna do. This is something I probably didn't come up with this, but I came up with it one year when I was still married.
You know what? We're gonna say you came up with it.
Well, okay, that's fine. I said we're gonna do Thanksgiving burritos. Now, so here's what here's what you do. You're gonna get some of that hot turkey. You're gonna take a soft shell tortilla. You know what I mean? You're gonna take the turkey. You're gonna put that in first. After that, you do mashed potatoes. After that, stuffing. After that, if you're feeling it, you do corn, or any of the vegetables present.
Yeah, I like all of those things.
Yeah, and then you wrap it up like a burrito, drizzle it with cranberry sauce, and then eat it with a fork. Everybody at your Thanksgiving, because you're in the Midwest, might look at you a little crazy. But some of them will be jealous.
One year, like, man, that sounds really good right now. Actually,
it's amazing. I came up with the beautiful idea of washing it down with caramel apple sangria. Oh, best culinary idea to ever come out of this brain.
Yeah.
Wow,
you're a master chef there, man.
No,
I remember one year, like. My mom, when I was younger, my mom knew I didn't like turkey. So one year instead of turkey, she made like, those really long, like stromboli pizza roll things. With,
hell yeah.
Just stuffed cheese and pepperoni inside.
Mm-hmm.
She made that like 2 of those, but they were like, each one was probably like 3 feet long. Jesus. And like she made like 10 of them, and like she put the extras in the freezer. But she made like 10 pizza ones, and then she surprised everyone by making taco ones. Like 5 of them had like ground beef and cheese and like tortilla strips and in it, and the other one had shredded chicken in it. And then you topped those with like lettuce, tomato, sour cream, and like taco sauce.
God, I wish I wasn't working this Thanksgiving. I would so just drive to your house for that.
Oh my gosh, dude, that was probably my favorite Thanksgiving, I would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The best Thanksgivings are when it's oddly not about Thanksgiving.
Right.
Thanksgiving is a horrible, horrible celebration.
Like the week of Thanksgiving when the Wii came out, me and my cousin decided to go stand outside in Toys R Us when it was 19 degrees out, and I was wearing flip-flops and basketball shorts because I didn't know we were going. My toes were frozen. And I couldn't feel my fingers, but I got a Wii in Twilight Princess and Red Steel. Red Steel was a bad choice.
I liked Red Steel. Red Steel wasn't that bad.
Red Steel 2 was awesome.
Maybe I played Red Steel 2 then.
Red Steel 1 was
dumpster fire.
Red Steel 2, you were like a samurai cowboy guy.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah. It was awesome.
That's the one.
Yeah.
All right. So we've been going for like an hour and a half.
I know. I noticed that. But
what do you say? Call it a show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? An hour and a half of 69 is just good enough.
Yeah. Now, I will say this. In our community, I did put out show topic ideas because I was playing Fortnite before we jumped on. Ed, well, first off, Lee Navarro said, "Hey, have me on to ruin it," and I'm like, "That wouldn't ruin it. That would class up the place." But then Ed Varnell, the busiest man in this game, said, "Talk about old school music that everybody recognizes," and that's impossible with my co-host. because I could talk about any old school music, and there's a high chance he's not going to recognize it.
Probably.
So
let's do a rapid fire of old school music that I might not recognize.
No. I'll be here a while. Because I could just basically just pull records out and be like, hey, this is old enough. No idea.
Nope.
Do you know the Beach Boys?
I do know the Beach Boys.
All right, there we go. We got our one. Fantastic. They're old school.
I also am very fond of the Bee Gees.
All right. Which Bee? Well, actually, yeah. If I'm asking you which Bee Gees, you're talking the disco stuff, aren't you?
I don't know. Whatever my dad was listening to.
Do you know songs?
When they come on, I do. So I know "Staying Alive" is like the most popular, but I like
that's the disco stuff. I actually think the Bee Gees were a really great band before that. I think their best stuff is actually before that. They did like this weird Baroque, kind of brooding pop that was really cool. It was still rock, but it was way more interesting than their disco stuff. But of their disco stuff, if you want a little homework, check out Jive Talkin'. Jive Talkin' is my jam.
Jive Talkin'.
Yes.
There it is. Let's see it. Let's listen. Let's see. Great radio, by the way. They're not going to be able to hear it. That's okay.
I mean, I could pull it up on Spotify if you'd like.
Nah. We'll figure it out.
But I feel like of all of their disco stuff,
I like this song.
I know, right? So it's a nice organic beat, good strumming. It's not over the top with a 4 on the floor, percussion or anything. It's just a solid song.
They don't have any of the weird like high pitched stuff that they do in Staying Alive. None of that long drawn out high pitched stuff.
No, not really. No,
it has the classic Bee Gees sound without
beating you over the head with it.
Yeah.
But I think that was actually Barry, Robin, and Morris's voice. Like they were actually able to just get that high as men, which is kind of a rarity, and good on them for it. They did. I feel like they left a very, very good mark on pop music that would be expanded and evolved upon in the decades that followed. But that's another show entirely. Corey, where do we find you or us or anything?
Yeah, okay. You can find us on ngrradio.com and on our YouTube page at Nerds Gone Rogue. Just search Nerds Gone Rogue or NGR Radio. You will find someone, probably the most recent episode and our most popular episode of late with the ABBA front cover. Wow, that was such a fun cover to make. You can find me at Corey and HD on Twitter, Twitch, Instagram. Mostly Instagram though, because I haven't streamed in a while and all my Instagram pictures just go straight to my Twitter. So I don't use Twitter except to yell at PlayStation when their customer support takes me there. What else? I've been writing a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I'm really excited to kind of like say what I've been working on. So
cool. That'll
be coming soon.
All right.
You can follow me on Twitter for that, because that sounds like a place to announce stuff like that would be on Twitter. I'm trying to learn social media. I don't like social media.
Me either. It's very depressing.
You can join our Facebook community at facebook.com/group/NGR Radio Network, I think. You can join our Creators Corner if you create stuff and share stuff there. You can, check out.
We're also pretty liberal about people sharing stuff, just as long as you don't spam. I think that's that's probably the
consensus is like one post a week usually, and then like on Sundays when like the submission Sunday thing became a thing, like we like to encourage our friends to share stuff. So
we got a lot of good friends with shows too.
Yeah, we do. Fathers of the Grind, Nintendo Main Podcast, Brew Review,
Matt and the B Flats.
every show that Matt's on.
I mean, no.
And we got them. We should promote the trash that is Nerds Gone Platinum.
Yeah, fuck them.
Moose just isn't here, so
yeah, Moose just isn't here, so because he had to work late, and God bless him.
The next show I'm not here, you can dump on Pal Block all you want.
Oh, we will. Oh, we totally will. We totally will. I've got the puns ready. But yeah, Secret Friends are a part of it. Phoenix Overdrive when they're doing shows, because I know those three are busy now.
Yeah.
But we've got a nice little community. We're very welcoming, and as long as you're not an asshole, come hang out.
And don't worry if you are an asshole. Even if it's not me or Matt, someone will let you know you're being an asshole.
This is true. This is true.
I think that's just a general life lesson. Just don't be an asshole.
Yeah.
I know it's very easy to be that on the internet.
It's super easy. It's way easier than it should ever be. But as long as before you say something, you ask, how would I like if somebody said that to me? That generally is your answer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Matt, you want to do the honors of taking us home?
Yes. I don't know how to take us home. I forgot. It's been so long. But you can find me at infinite_rewind on Instagram, Twitter, and PS4. I'm not going to do my friend code because I don't know it.
Here's the thing. Ed and I talked about the friend code thing on Pal Block on last week's Pal Block, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are going to make an official post after Thanksgiving for friend codes in the Facebook group. So look for that thread.
Okay.
So we will be posting friend codes there.
Okay. And then after Thanksgiving this is up. So by the time this is up, there will be a post and maybe my friend code will be on it. But if you really want to be friends, find us in the NGR Radio community group. Hell, DM me if you say, "Hey, this is my friend code. Friend me." As long as I know you, or as long as you sort of give me a spiel as to where you found me, fine. Because most people send me I get a lot of blank requests, and I'm like, I don't know this.
Did you download Mitomo?
Oh hell no! Well, actually, I did for like 10 seconds, and then I was like, nope, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah, I get probably 5 or 6 friend requests a day just from the app. The Mitomo app, and I'm like, this was a bad idea.
Like, nah, dog. Nah. I love Nintendo, but there are some things that have just been done right. Elsewhere, you can find me co-hosting the Brew Review with John Martin, Corm, and Jesse White. I'm not there every show, but I try and be there as often as I can. Working 3 jobs makes that a little bit impossible. And then you can also find me hosting the music show. I would say mine, but it's really not. It was Brian Spagnoli's idea. They just put my name first. It is called Matt and the B Flats. Music is, as you can see, is something I put a hopeless amount of value into. I love listening to it, love talking about it, and I think I actually know a thing or two about it versus...
I enjoy listening to you on that show, even though I have no idea what you guys are talking about most of the time.
Well, yeah, because I was paying attention while I was gone, Corey. You basically said you push play and then leave the room. So, so it's kind of like when I talk to you about music here. And so, but I just know your eyes are dead because I can see it.
My eyes leave the room.
Yeah, it's like a Pac-Man ghost. He just. But this has been NGR Radio, episode 69. Find us on YouTube at YouTube/NGR Radio. We've got a link now, don't we? Or no?
No.
Maybe. Oh, I thought we did.
No, they changed it, and it used to be after 50 subscribers, but now it's after 500.
After 500. Oh, well, let's subscribe. Find us on YouTube, NGR Radio. Search it. Subscribe to us. Let's get that link.
I'm going to find out as you take us
like us, share us. If you have people that like video games in your life and just like casual conversation, send them here. Let us be the one that ruins it for them. You don't have to. Respect spoilers. If you want to be a part of the show, let us know. We're always looking to chat with new people. And find all of our content at ngrradio.com. I believe that's everything. Am I missing anything, Corey?
Nope. No.
Well then, this has been episode 69. Banana and out.
Insert joke here.
Yeah. Right off your tongue and into the whoa, Nelly.
Oh, I'm ready.
Oh, you're ready.
Dude, that picture of Joe Biden is really funny.
That is. I miss him. I miss both of them so much right now. Like I like talking. I like talking about politics, but I fucking hate talking politics. Like, eventually it just devolves into no, I'm right, you're wrong, or I'm awesome, you're a shitbag, and no one really wants to have. It's like the art of discussion ends up being lost. And
I don't like talking politics, but I want like a half-hour comedy series starring Joe Biden and Barack Obama, where they just reenact all the memes people have made about them.
Oh yeah, where all the where Obama's like, don't do it, Joe. But we'll really get him if we do it.
Yeah.
God bless them.
Oh man. They'll be back someday.
I mean,
maybe. Probably not. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And the sad thing is, like, Donald Trump isn't wrong. A lot of people do love him, but assholes have to love somebody, right? Right. Okay. So,
there's an asshole for everybody, Matt.
That's what she said.
Oh man, good thing we have an after show blooper section.
Oh yeah.
Title of the episode, title of the fireside chat. There's an asshole for everybody.
Yep. Yep. Okay, so here we go.